ahead and call the meeting to order. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Nation with its soul, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom. Here. Lehman.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Nally. Mr. Price.
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting held on August 10th, 2026, please?
So move.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom. Yes. Ms. Lewis.
Yes.
Ms. Lehman.
Yes.
Mr. Nally. Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved. Moving on to legislative report.
Kind of deviating from I had asked Mrs. Hurt a question regarding registration of high school students that have come of age to vote, and just asked her if she would spend a minute or two, just kind of tell us what that process is in getting our youth registered to vote and giving them some options. So you
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Nally. So many of us remember a senior class called civics. That course has evolved over the years, and now our students take a government class while they're in high school, and that's a requirement in the state of Ohio. That course is actually taught at Ross High School in their junior year. And so all of our students that participate in government in advance of turning 18 are reminded of those key components of the obligation and the opportunity and the right that they have to be a participating citizen and to exercise that opportunity to vote. We do have forms that we have in the building, so we can make it easy for students. They can see their counselor. They're in that area. They're available to kids, so they can get that form, filled it out. We can help get that turned in if students have that interest. We do have a lot of children. Most of our students will fill that out and take that back home, and then parents participate in getting that in the right spot. And that's a conversation for our students to have at home with their parents as well. We do offer, in addition to just a regular government class for our students, we do offer a AP government and CCP level, college level course. So the conversation may sound a little bit different in those courses for some of those students. But it is a piece that we make sure that we try to stay on top of, as we always every year have seniors turning 18 during the course of the year. And that's a course that takes place throughout the school year.
Are you open to people coming in and set up a table for voting purposes and having them register that way?
We'd have to be very thoughtful that we don't violate our own policy to make sure that we are nonpartisan, that we are not indicating for our students to exercise their right one way or the other. We'd have to be very thoughtful to that. But I would say that we do have at Ross High School, as well as our other buildings, an opportunity, that cafeteria time, that lunch time, that is an opportunity where we have outside organizations that would like to distribute literature of some sort or share some information. There's a process with the literature distribution form that they can make that request. And we do sometimes set up those tables, and then students can have access to that piece of information during that time frame. So that could be something that could be considered going forward. We do have other outside agencies and organizations that take advantage of that.
Right.
if a group wanted to do that, would they contact Mr. Norris here at the high school?
I think that they would probably start with that literature distribution form that is available on our website,
Okay.
or could be available in any of our buildings. but then that would give us the information of the ideas of what they want to distribute and how they want to distribute that. Is it a flyer they want to have emailed home to families? Is it a flyer they would like to print out and hand it out? Is it an opportunity to make that a face-to-face conversation? All of that would come through that same process.
I guess one of the things that hits me is doing that at a time when we don't have a levy going on, so that we're not criticized for just getting the students registered and for our purposes. And, I think doing it the way that you're doing it, and if there is that opportunity to, have a table, say the Board of Elections or some group like that does a nonpartisan, I think, that might be a positive thing for our students and help encourage them to become good citizens in that regards. So,
And absolutely, we teach government every year in the course of the school year. And so that it hits us all the time that we try to keep our students involved in that aspect.
that concludes my legislative report.
All right. No walk-on items tonight?
No, sir.
Anybody from the community? Because I know what our few guests that we have here at the PAC. Just for those that are at home watching, we're here because there is a middle school open house. So we were thrown from our regular home and we're in the big PAC. So moving on to superintendent's report.
Well, thank you. Good evening, board members. Mr. Price, Ms. Parkhurst, it's a pleasure to be here this evening. I am so excited to be able to invite Senora Laura Ward to and her guest. Come on up. If you remember, board members, about a year ago, actually probably about 18 months ago, you approved the opportunity for our students in Spanish Club to take a trip. And that trip was going to leave our local community and venture actually across the globe. And this was an opportunity for our students to have a very cultural experience. But our policy does say that prior to beginning fundraising on a big activity like that, when students are going to be away from the district overnight and out of state, that you have to approve that early on. So Mrs. Ward and her Spanish club has followed that process. And this past June, they took a wonderful trip. And for some of our students here from Ross High School, a trip of a lifetime. So now that that trip is concluded, I've asked her to rejoin us and share with you and give you some highlights of our students and staff that we're supporting them in Spain. So welcome, Laura Tia. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for approving the trip. It definitely was a trip of a lifetime, and 11 days of just jam-packed activities and just becoming a big, huge family, I guess, and experience new things and outside of our culture that we would have never gotten that opportunity to. So the trip on the map, you can see we started in Malaga, España, and stayed. We traveled to Granada, and we stayed 2 nights there. Then we went to Sevilla. We stayed 2 nights there. When we left there, we did a stop in Cordoba and did a tour. And then we went to Madrid, headed to Madrid, stayed there 3 nights, and we finished our trip in Barcelona for 2 nights and flew out of there. So it was a very busy schedule. In our first city that we stayed in, we got to tour the Alhambra, which was one of the palaces that has a mixing of cultures, the Christian culture, as well as it was a mosque at one time, and the students did a city challenge without adults, and we they had to kind of navigate through the city to figure out where they were going. And then we got to go to a tea house where they learned how to drink tea properly. And
There was a lot of different architecture that they had there that they probably haven't seen before, and they explained how everything was combined into one and that cultural aspect of it, as well as a lot of the words and where they come from. So it was really neat to throw those in there so that they get that educational background as well.
Spain is very proud of their blended culture, where you have the Arab culture that's incorporated along with the previous Spain culture, and so they're very proud of that within their foods and their music and their dance and just customs. So here's some of the architecture of the Alhambra that we got to see. That is like a pool, and it's just absolutely gorgeous in real life. And a little bit more of the architecture, and then the tea house. And in the middle top, you have Ethan Duncan pouring his tea properly, so it infuses all the flavors. Then we went to Seville or Sevilla. We stopped at an olive oil farm where we got to taste test olive oil and learn how to do that properly. And we learned how to really know extra virgin olive oil, how to purchase the best kind, and instead of some of the products that we buy here in the United States. And so that was pretty cool.
The best quality that you're supposed to buy it in glass instead of plastic and things like that.
How to store it and keep it so it keeps its richness and flavor. In the bell tower, it was like 36 flights of stairs or so, but we most of us went up there and got to see the view from the city. We did not go into a bullfighting ring, but we got to stop outside of one and take pictures and see what a bullfighting ring kind of looks like. And then the Setas de Sevilla. Setas is like a mushroom. They're these huge wooden structures that you take an elevator up, and you get a beautiful view of the city. I have a couple pictures in the next slide. And then we did flamenco dancing, where we learned how to flamenco dance, and then we watched the real deal. So there are only a couple of us that were good at it. So going back to this, up in the top left corner, that's our tour guide, Jaime, with his daughter. That was a picture of him after he reunited with her after the trip, but he was phenomenal. Like, he said, "What do you want to do in your free time?" And he helped us make extra activities happen throughout the trip. So we weren't just shopping all the time during our free time. So here are the Setas de Sevilla. So you can kind of see our view. The top picture is us way down in front as a whole group. And then the other two pictures are up. So the one on the bottom is up top, so you can see the whole landscape of the entire city. And then at the very end. And then here is us taste testing our olive oil and enjoying it. We had some even over chocolate. So
Yeah, they had us eat
chocolate
it over
ice cream.
chocolate ice cream, which never in my life would I have guessed that they tasted good together. But a lot of the kids tried it, were very suspicious about trying it, but actually thought it was good as well.
It had like an orangey flavor to it. So. And then here's the flamenco dancing. We didn't want to put too many embarrassing pictures of us dancing in there, but it was pretty fun. Definitely took us out of our comfort zone. And then in Cordoba, we viewed the mezquita, which was a mosque, but also now has the Catholic services in it as well. In the bottom right corner, this past year, Clyde had an exchange student from Spain that came here and shadowed a day. So she met up with us because that was her hometown, and she took us to a couple of places that we had to go eat at and shop at. So that was really, really cool to have someone here from the United States that we knew.
Yeah, that connection that the kids made with her through that.
Yeah. And that was a beautiful town. We all kept talking, which town would you want to live in if you lived in Spain? So heading to Madrid, we toured the Royal Palace, where we got to see the crown that they wear and kind of how they live. And we did a cooking class, and we tried the traditional Spanish churros, and we visited the Prado Art Museum, shopping. And here we are at the the National Palace, and then the churros are off to the side. During our free time, some of the kids were really wanting to see a soccer stadium. So we had half the group that wanted to go. We figured that all out. Tia kind of led that portion of it.
We divided it, made sure we had the adults and everybody got to see kind of what they wanted to see, and our tour guide was able to organize that for us. And so it was really nice to see, and they were really excited about it.
Oh, and they got to tour the stadium of the Real Madrid that was
Got to go down, see
to the World
field
Cup.
and where the players sit and everything. It was very nice.
Yeah. And then these are some of our cooking class pictures. We made 4 dishes. We made paella, which is like a yellow rice with seafood. The tortilla española is kind of like an omelet, but a little different. It has eggs and potatoes and onions. And then the gazpacho is like a cold tomato soup with obviously tomatoes, cucumbers, garlic, onion, and then the tarta de Santiago was a cake that's very popular and traditional. So they really enjoyed that class as well. And we were such a big group, they had to do it in 2 different groups. So we had 2 different sessions.
We had a lot of places that we went that they divided us into 2 different sections just because there were so many of us.
Yeah,
but everybody got to do everything. So
there were 44 of us total, 32 students. So we were big. We were a big group. Then we took a high-speed train to Barcelona, and it was fast. It was comfortable too, and pretty.
Yeah, you couldn't really feel. I mean, the movement was fine. It wasn't jerky or anything, but it definitely felt like you were moving. So.
Mm-hmm. And that got us to Barcelona a lot faster than if we were going in a tour bus. We would have lost a lot of time to do things. We did a lot in Barcelona. Las Ramblas was like a market that you can go try different foods and stuff in. We added in during our free time a boat ride and a beach time in the Mediterranean Sea because we needed to put our toes in the Mediterranean if we were there. And we added in the cable car from Montjuic to, which is a viewpoint of the city. We took the cable car down to the beach, and then we spent the day there, or the afternoon there. Sagrada Familia is probably one of the most famous structures in the architectural world. Antonio Gaudí has designed it, and it's been under construction for over 100 years. And then Parkwell is also his architecture. We got to visit, and we made a quick 5-minute stop to the Olympic Village, where they had held the Olympics back in, what was it, 92, I think. Yeah. So here's the Sagrada Familia. We didn't go inside because it was just such a busy schedule, but we did go walk all the way around it and got to see all the beautiful architecture. And then this is our trip to the beach and the cable car and then the boat ride in the middle. So we definitely got our little taste of the Mediterranean Sea. And there's the Olympic Stadium that they used in the 1992. And that left one is where the torch was lit. And then these are just some other other pictures. The top ones are Park Güell, which is the architecture that Antonio Gaudí incorporated into this community. And then that was one of the beautiful churches that we all took a group photo in front of in Barcelona, just walking through. And up in the middle picture there, if you look up in that window, we saw the Fremont Ross logo. So we took a picture, and I don't know, someone must be a fan of Fremont Ross in Barcelona. And while we were in Park Güell, another student another family, I can't remember the Atkinson family's names, but Evea Bates, one of our students, was actually there on their own. And so we ran into a second group of people that we knew in a totally different country. So, and then I know this was very important. A group of us made sure we made it to the Lego store in Barcelona, and that was really pretty cool. They had some pretty cool Lego displays of the architecture of
La Sagrada Familia replica of there in the Lego store as well. Which
and
is
then the Park
very
Güell.
nice.
Yeah, so we did. We jammed. I mean, and this probably doesn't even tell you everything that we did. We would go on all night, and this meeting probably would never end. So, but we did do a photo circle, which is an app where we were all sharing, and then even the parents and other family members here in the U.S. were also joined it, so they got to see like live updates of us as we were putting in pictures of, so they knew exactly what we were doing, and a lot of parents were very happy to see that, like, oh, that's what my kid's doing right now. So yeah. But it was a great trip. Lots of amazing memories and lots of friendships. And
It's just so exciting every time to see the kids experience everything and their reactions, and it's just great.
mhm.
So what was their favorite city? You said that you asked them if you could live anywhere in Spain, what would you pick? What was the consensus?
Oh,
There was a variety.
yeah.
Like a lot of them, like different cities for different reasons.
Yeah.
The tour guide also asked them what aspect of Spain would you be taking back home with you? And surprisingly, a lot of them said like the fashion and the way they dress, because they were always dressed up.
Mhm.
Like you never saw anybody
in
in
sweatpants.
pajamas or sweats, leisure wear. They were
Yeah.
always dressed very nice.
Mhm. Yeah. And I do know a couple kids did come home and immediately made meals for their families with some of the stuff that we, and we're excited to share that with them. So,
What were the hotels like? Were they what we see now here at home, or are they different? The reason I asked, my son did some touring over in Italy, and he was talking about how different the rooms were.
I would
Yeah.
say they were comparable.
Mhm.
Maybe not as spacious because space is limited over there. But yeah, I would say they were comparable to here.
Similar.
the houses.
The
Right.
hotels.
Oh, the hotels. Yeah, and I think the company did a good job of finding like ones that fit American culture a little bit more. But yeah, the rooms were very good size. 3 of our hotels had pools, and we had to ban the kids out of the pool and have adult time before they got in there and splashed everywhere. So, but it was kind of a
The
fun.
one day.
It was just
one day.
just once. We needed our adult swim time.
It was half an hour.
We wouldn't judge you one bit.
Right. But they were all watching, and when that time was over, they were in. So, but
When you go on a trip like this, do they plan it for you, or do you tell them what you want to do?
They have, well, so when we looked at the trips, we looked at a couple different tour companies. EF Tours had a much better agenda. And then the length of the visit, they were able to add Barcelona in for us to make it a little bit longer of a trip, but since we were already over there, you might as well add it in. Then the other tour companies we looked at, and then during our free time, that's where we kind of figured out, like, that's how we added in the cable cars, and we added in the boat tour. It was like an hour, a little bit over an hour boat ride, and then the beach day and the stadium trip. So we kind of then added more into it on our own.
So you kind of look at what you want to do and find something that goes with that. And once you have that picked, the tour guide helps you find other things that you would like to do.
Yeah. And then also price wise, like, is what you're doing going to be like what the company's charging? Like, is that
The value of it.
yeah. So yeah, we had the other trips we went through Explorica, but EF offered a way better Spain trip in this particular case.
Okay. And Barcelona, do they use that for anything? That where the Olympics were, or is it just vacated?
It's vacated now, I think. Yeah, we were driving by it and we said, "Can we please just stop and take pictures?" And they said, "We can." So we ran up, took pictures, and then ran back on the bus and went on to our next
Well,
plan.
because you hear about previous places used for Olympics being vacated, and I didn't know if that was one of them or they use it for something.
Yeah, I'm
else.
not sure if they use it for any competitions currently.
I don't remember what
I don't
he
think
said.
any of the kids
yeah.
asked either.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Just wondered. Because I'll probably never be over there. So
Yeah.
Well, it definitely sounds like a very exciting trip. And I guess, I thinking about when we approve things, I think this adventure is kind of my expectation, and there were no problems. So it sounds like the trip went very well. Well behaved kids and adults, and a lot of culture, and I think that's the expectation.
Yeah, I just think it's good. I mean, any of these kinds of trips that we can get our kids on to experience something they probably, a lot of them won't have that chance to experience. So thank you for all the hard work that you guys put into it, to plan it, to get everybody involved, all the fundraising for it, everything else. I know it was not a small task to be able to do that, especially for 44 people to be able to go. So, and then the time spent over there and just keeping everyone organized and in place. And I mean, I know the assistant superintendent, you probably had to corral her like crazy. So probably was like herding cats like any time else with teenagers. So, but thank you very much for all the hard work and having this opportunity for the kids and everything. So
Thank you guys.
My
Thank
daughter
you.
was talking about the one part where you guys went, they filmed something to do with Star Wars.
Sevilla.
She goes, I know nobody appreciated that. I don't know. Her mother-in-law, grandmother-in-law, and sister-in-law had no idea what that was.
Mhm.
She's like, what do you mean you didn't know? I would have never known. I would have just been a pretty desert or pretty whatever wherever they did. That's pretty. But I don't know what you did there. So, but yeah, she was in awe of them getting to see that.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Some kids don't know Star Wars, but we sent them like a clip of like where it was, so they could
Mhm.
kind of see like what was filmed and then what we had in front of us. So they had a chance to compare the two.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would have never known. I would have just thought, oh, that's really pretty. So,
Yeah, I found I think a YouTube video clip that showed it and sent it out so that they got to see before they went there. Yeah.
yeah, she was kind of a little jealous.
Mhm.
I'm like,
any other questions for him?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate the opportunity that you've given our students.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Um, just a couple other items for my report. In case there's anyone in our community that is unsure, school is starting. It is a real deal. It is happening. So I just want to make sure that everyone hears that. We currently this week have all kinds of orientations and open houses, opportunities for families to come into the buildings and see and get familiar. So we definitely want to make sure that our families and students take advantage of those opportunities. All of that information is located on our district website on the calendar. We do have a stagger start for next week for students. So again, all of that information is located there on our website. So if there's any questions about when you should send your children to school, please, please, please reach out and ask. Call your elementary building or the middle or high school, or call the district office so that we can make sure that we can answer those questions and make sure everyone gets in the right spots on the right days. Tomorrow, we will have our district opening. So all of our 550 staff members will be here in this facility as we open, which means that in order for everyone to come here, all of our buildings, including our district office, will be closed in the morning between 7:30 and 11 o'clock so that we can have all of our staff participate in that opening professional development and be a part of that. So if we have community members that are looking to make a contact to any of our buildings, including the district office tomorrow morning, please just feel free to leave a message and somebody will get back with you in the afternoon when they're back at their stations. That is all I have this evening, Mr. Price.
Okay, we can move on to recommendation.
Thank you. I would ask your approval for item number 1. We have some school supplies that have been donated by the VFW.
All right, can I get a motion to approve item 1, please? Motion by Ms. Lehman. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nally. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Lyman,
Yeah.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
Fantastic. Thank you. And very appropriate because we just heard about a student opportunity and a trip. Item number 2, I would ask that you would approve our varsity baseball team for a trip next school year that will come at the end of spring break to Myrtle Beach for the purpose of continuing to develop baseball and that team aspect and that baseball family with our student athletes, which Lisa is asking permission to take them away.
Can I get a motion to approve item 2, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lehman. Any discussion?
I assume this is similar to what the softball team
And
does in the.
that is very correct, Ms. Lewis. So again, that policy states that prior to any fundraising, the board needs to approve that aspect. So he's well in advance of that time frame, and it's very similar to what our softball players have had the opportunity to do.
I think it's a great thing. I mean, Coach Thiessen is here and everything, and that's great. And I think it's a great thing for the kids. I know for softball, being in Ohio in April, it's usually cold and 30, and everybody's out there in winter clothes. So what a great time to head south and just get a lot of extra time in for practice and baseball and having camaraderie as a team. So I know softball has benefited from it greatly. So I'm excited that the baseball team gets to do the same thing. I think it'll be great for them. So.
Send pictures of the architecture.
It's called sand. It's Myrtle Beach.
Right. That sounds good.
All right. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lyman,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
Thank you. Item number 3, I would ask your approval for a high school diploma for Mara Rodman.
I have a motion to approve item 3, please.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lewis. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nally. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
Thank you. Item number 4, we have a few resignations, beginning with Shannon Jaquay and ending with Charmaine Smith. Item number 5, I would ask your approval for an appointment. This is our final teaching staff certified teacher to start our school year. So please welcome Lindsay Schaefer, who will be an intervention specialist for us at Lutz Elementary. We have some certified and some support staff substitutes. Item number 6, we have a few supplemental contracts. Again, those supplemental pieces are individuals who are going to do a little bit of something extra to support our students in their learning. Item number 7, we have some support staff individuals who are again going to join us with that supplemental duty. And finally, item number 8, some IEP writers, if with your approval, that will help us be able to make sure that we meet the needs of all of our students and all of those legalities.
Can I get a motion to approve items 4 through 8, please?
So move.
Motion by Ms. Lewis. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lehman. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yeah.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
Thank you. Item number 9 is a similar item as to item number 8. I just have pulled Cassidy Druckenmiller out for a separate vote, please.
It's weird to see Drew Miller.
It's very weird to see.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, who's that?
I know.
Took me for a
It took me a second to think. Oh, yeah, that's my daughter. Whoops. Can I get a motion to approve item 9, please?
So move.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nally. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yeah.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Abstain, and motion's approved.
Thank you. Next up, we have some item number 10. Again, these are approval for some IEP and ETR 504 plan writing. These are staff members that join Fremont City Schools through the ESC. So those are North Point employees. And item number 11, we just have a few status changes.
Can I get a motion to approve items 10 and 11, please?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lehman. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bloom. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
Thank you. That is all this evening.
All right, moving on to report of the treasurer.
Good evening. I do have a couple items on the agenda tonight that I'm going to use for my report. You will notice that I did not get them to Miss Gina on time, so they didn't get sent with the board items. And I thought I had access to the board site. I do not. So they are in your email if you are able to access them. If you want to see the documents for the forecast. I'm not going to go too heavily into the July monthly financial report because it's reflected a lot more in the forecast for the year. We're pretty much there's not really too much that was shocked in July. Financials, our real estate tax collections were later this year due to the credit from House Bill 186 that required county auditors and treasurers to have a software update so that they could print out tax bills. And so the due dates got pushed much further back this year. So we did not have the first real estate collection until advance until August. And then we'll close out real estate collections probably in September this year, whereas normally we're finished with the second half collection in August. So we didn't receive any in July due to that change in the deadline of the due dates. So that's why in that general fund report for the July financials, there's zeros where normally we would have dollar amounts for the month. But and then in the expenses for July, like I said, there's a really only thing of highlight that stands out is we spent a little bit more in the month of July to get the year up and running. We had a lighting upgrade that we had to use some additional funds that we hadn't in the past, but otherwise we're pretty much running on schedule for the month of July. And then if we move to the forecast, there's a community friendly forecast document. It looks very similar to my normal monthly report, and it has our actual and then of last year's finances and how we ran, and then this year and additional years going out. Revenue with everything going on legislatively, we did have to forecast those years very flat for real estate taxes. And you will see that there's a jump from 25, 26 collections to 26, 27, and 27, 28. There's a decrease that is due to House Bill 186, and there is a credit going back to the taxpayers in the second collection, and then you will see that next year as well. I do want to draw your attention, though, to, I believe it's in the other receipts from the state much further down in that revenues column. You will see an increase in that line, and that's going to be that credit coming back to us. The state has kind of kept school districts whole with that credit, so there's just kind of a shift in where that money will fall. And we have that built into the next 2 years, or this fiscal year, next year's forecast, and then kept revenues right in line with what they had been.
Can you walk us through?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not following exactly where on the document and what line.
So
Kind of walk us through that a little slower.
Okay, sorry. So if you look at the very first line, the real estate taxes and the revenues,
Got it.
okay? The first column has the actual for this year or not this year, I'm sorry. The actual real estate taxes we collected in last fiscal year, which was about 13.6 million. The next column over, we are down to 11.9, almost 12 million. And that is due to that credit from House Bill 186. A lot of people saw that on their tax bill second collection. That was for the whole tax collection year of this year. Next year in January, it'll be split in half between the first half collection and the second half. But they just did a one to meet the House bill rules. They did it as one time the second half collection. So that revenue collection we're gonna see a decrease in, but if you move down to the second line from the green total revenue, it says other receipts state. You see? Okay.
Got it.
That line is increased due to that's where the credit is going to come back to us. So the state will keep us whole. It was built into that House Bill 186. So you'll see a decrease in the real estate, but you'll see an increase in that other receipts from the state.
So, but going forward beyond that, we don't know if they're going to hold to that.
We know they will do this year, this fiscal year, and next fiscal year. But beyond that, that's all the credit is applied for currently. So you'll see 28, 29, our real estate value is going back up because as far as we know right now, that's what's going to happen. That could change. But as much as I know now, that's what with where the laws stand now, this is what we're predicting is going to happen.
I understand it's a forecast,
Yeah.
but I guess just knowing
Like,
that we really can't count on the legislature to continue
Right.
that generosity of sending our money back to us.
Right. Yeah. So we only have that built in fiscal 27 and fiscal 28.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I had a crystal ball for this whole area, but unfortunately I do not.
Well, that's our expectation of you, though.
Well, I had to reevaluate my job description. You'll also notice state funding, we're keeping very flat as well. As of right now, that's what we know to happen. We are seeing with a decrease in our enrollment that could potentially bring down our state funding as well. We're not seeing any huge declines, so I'm not forecasting any huge declines in that funding, but it is something we are watching. We had audits of our Medicaid funds, and we had much higher refunds come back in the last 2 years. So if you look at the very last revenue line, the Medicaid federal revenue for fiscal 26 and fiscal 27, those are much higher dollar amounts. And then I project much lower. We don't know until they do those how much we're going to receive back. So I try to keep it, not inflate how much we're going to see. I know a couple years ago we only got $118,000 back. So it's not something I can tell you for sure how much we're going to get back from one year to the next.
and what is that based on? Because that's a stark contrast fiscally.
So the Medicaid, I'm trying to, can I get back to you on that just because I don't want to misspeak? I know what I look at and what I have to supply.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that what they give us initially, I have a good speaking notes on, just so I don't misspeak on that. I will get back to you next meeting on what the big difference is between those.
Thank you.
A lot of the other revenue lines, like I said we're predicting to keep very flat. Interest income, we expect to see a little bit of increases, but again, nothing large. As of right now, interest is staying higher, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of months and years. So really for our revenue right now, I feel like I've said this 8 times now, but we've just kept it pretty flat. We're not really expecting to see a lot of increases in that area currently. And then if we go down to our expense lines, of course, that first line at the very top, salary and wages, and fringe benefits would be your employee benefits. So those two are kind of tied together in our world. That makes up our employees, and insurance is getting more expensive every day. So I do have increases built in there. And then wages, of course, we have wages or increases built in there as well. Our purchase service, even though it's not shown as salaries and wages, it does house our ESC contract in there. So it does have salaries and it is still that large part of salaries and benefits that we have to expect are going to increase over the next couple of years. Supplies I kept pretty flat with a little bit of increases due to inflation and those known expenses. As of right now, our equipment, some of our main purchases are our buses. So we have the bus purchase plan right now where we will take 2 buses from general fund. So that is built in that's the largest part of that line. We do have transfers out built into the next 2 years that we're showing that we would have a little bit of a surplus. And then once we hit deficit spending, I don't have any transfers built into the forecast. Just as a reminder, the transfers, it's how we kind of save money for our severance payments to our retiring teachers and our capital projects funds. So that if I have 4 buildings needing upgrades all at once, we have a pot of money saved to take care of those things outside of general fund. But if we would need money, we could easily move that back in with board approval. So that's the highlight of that report. You also see, and I'm sure I've said this 8 million times, the salary and benefits as a percentage of revenue is really a good indicator of when we're going to hit deficit spending. Once you get close to that 80%, you'll see we hit deficit spending higher and higher as that goes out. And that's always a trend we've seen. It's a trend all districts see. And we've also, usually by year 3 and 4, that's when we see that deficit spending in a forecast. So I'm not concerned by this. I think we're still running very good as a district. Mrs. Hurt, Mrs. Abernathy, make sure to keep their sides in check so that I can make sure everybody's getting everything they need.
And again, it's one of those things you have to do a 5-year forecast when the state has a 2-year budget.
Mhm.
So, it's,
And we're on a budget year.
you're forecasting out that you have no idea what anybody is going to say or do. So, every school district is in the same boat. Things could change. We don't know with the election this November.
Mm-mm.
With the new governor coming in, no matter what, it's a new governor, but what that budget is going to look like then and everything else. To say you have to forecast out 5 years, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So,
Especially this year, I know the last couple of years, it's like, well, I'm giving you my best guess. There's just so many factors right now that are out there. I feel a little less unsure than I have in the past, even though I've been doing this longer. I feel a little bit more worrisome as to what we're going to see happen over the next couple of years, just due to all the different bills and legislation that are trying to fix problems that are legit, but it just affects us as a whole.
Definitely.
just at the change of property taxes, the collection part of it,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
the forecast has to be in before. We just saw July, there was no collection yet.
Yeah.
So how do you make a forecast on something that you don't have the money for
Right.
even that month?
Right.
So the way they change some things, it just doesn't jive with when stuff has to be reported. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, the other thing is, it kind of speaks to the importance of our income tax that we receive
Mhm.
and the importance of that levy in the future, that we're maintaining that, because that's darn near half of our funding. And when we look at that big push away from property taxes, even though the legislature kind of is pushing us to have no other options other than in property taxes. But it just kind of speaks to the importance of um, our income tax collections moving forward.
As part of my opening day message that Mrs. Hurt has gifted me with giving tomorrow morning, I did go into it's very interesting how in probably mid 90s, they had the Rolfe case about how Ohio's funding structure of public schools was unconstitutional. And at that time, I believe it was 40% the state was providing on average schools with funding. And you will see we now receive 29% from the state, and our local community makes up 43%. So we're at almost half versus we're seeing quite a shift in that. And it's just boggling to me that it was deemed unconstitutional at not about 10% higher than what we're at now.
And my further point is it shows that we as a district have made sure to kind of diversify where those funds are. And then we have our permanent improvement tax. Those things are all kind of add up to that whole picture. And, so we're not looking at just one source of funding,
Right.
even though that source is our
Local
community members.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think all this too just plays in that part of property taxes, the hot topic right now, obviously. And no one likes to pay property taxes. If you own property, I've already paid for it. Why should I be paying taxes on it? It still comes down to the state is supposed to provide for an educational system within the state. They're doing with vouchers and everything else, and they want to change property taxes, and they hit all the hot topics. But what's the solution? Because the state is still supposed to provide that educational system, yet the way it's being pushed right now and the way it's going to happen is school districts are going to have to go back to their constituents locally, and all of a sudden then they're going to ask for more levies because the state isn't holding up what they should be doing. So then, yeah, it looks great. Oh, they're trying to fix property taxes. As a house owner or a homeowner, great, I'm happy for that. Problem is what's happening with all the other, in my mind, the state gets out of their lane. They're funding things that they shouldn't fund. There are things in our state constitution that says the state should take care of those things. Then we don't have these issues locally, and everybody can pay their state taxes and everything is being taken care of, but everybody wants money. They see that big pot and somebody wants a part of the till, and it just starts going everywhere. So that's the big thing in my mind is, okay, you're going to fix property taxes. Well, what is that going to look like for me as a resident of Fremont? So is the school district going to have to go with a higher levy because the state is already dropped its percentage of state funding for schools by 10, 12% in a couple decades? Well,
Yeah.
we can't sell more widgets to make more money for the school. I mean, there isn't anything we can sell. So, what do we do?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, where's the funding supposed to come from?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, what is the state's?
that's why you gotta do your homework on the next governor that you're voting in. I mean, that's gonna have a lot to do with it too. We've talked about that up here.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's an answer out there. They hit the hot topics and they talk about talking points that people want to hear. They get people excited and pumped up to vote for them or vote for the other person or whatever it is. But what's the real answer? I mean, even the funding model has been found unconstitutional, but there before the Fair School Funding Act, if you asked anyone to answer, okay, how are schools funded? They literally couldn't tell you because they added so much to that funding. No one could tell you how it worked except for some great statistician that could go through all the numbers. So they don't have an answer is the problem. They just, in my mind, they gloss over. And they're not fixing the problem. Okay, great. This sounds great. But are we fixing the problem?
Right.
No.
And then the average citizen might not understand that.
Right. Because you hear somebody tell you what you would like to hear. Man, that sounds great.
Gotta come from somewhere.
But,
Literally, it's gotta come from somewhere.
I don't know. I see.
and when we have to play by a separate set of rules than everywhere else, we were just talking, sorry, on a side note, this I'll go off on one of my tangents. So, being on the Vanguard Sentinel School Board, we just had a meeting last week. And how can I say this nicely? So, Buckeye Community School has now been given the opportunity to provide driver's education. Now, I don't know if it's at every Buckeye school location or not, and it is free of charge. So, they're a dropout and recovery school. According to Mr. Edinger, the superintendent at Vanguard, the best answer that he can find from anybody is that somehow that driver's education program is completely funded by the state funding. Now, other schools, including Vanguard, we tried last year to be able to have driver's education through Vanguard and offer it the way they were thinking financially, that they could offer students in the Fremont area driver's education for $50 or less.
Like the olden days.
Right. And the state denied it. And the state denied Vanguard having that opportunity. Now a community school is offering driver's ed and it's free. From my understanding, I could be wrong on a couple of these points, but free. Now this is the same school that their standards, again, side note, but their graduation standards, they have a 30% graduation rate. And based on state report card, they are exceeding expectations because they are a dropout and recovery school. And they're at 30% graduation rate. And they can offer driver's ed free to their students. Here we are struggling, playing by a completely different set of rules that have so many regulations on us compared to them. And we're at, what is our graduation rate? 94-ish. 95%, and we are meeting expectations. So there's the rub. Vouchers, say what you want to about all that kind of stuff. Make it a level playing field for all school districts, and let's see how it falls. Because there will be some of these places that don't get the money that they want because they can't compete. We want to do competition, then let's, come on, Columbus, make it level playing field. Get rid of some of our red tape that we have to go through. Let's see how we can do. That's all I'm asking. But again, no fixes for the problem, but they do that kind of stuff, and it makes me question everything that they do. I mean, how many kids in Fremont would benefit from a free driver's education? Holy cow.
Or a discounted. I mean,
Yeah, instead of 400 and some dollars for driver's ed. And I get it.
$50 sounded wonderful.
And the private driving schools have to charge that because of insurance and
Sure.
vehicles and their instructors and nothing, but they're a private business. But if the state would allow schools to be able to offer that, why not? Obviously, they're offering a community school to be able to do it. Well, why can't anybody else?
Just your talent.
There were some grants available the year before last that I think started to be implemented last year. We were not granted. Our proposal was not approved as part of that grant process. But that there are dollars that were associated with that to support some local school districts. Our grant was not approved for that option. We were in a consortium to try to finagle that option because it would be fantastic for our students.
Oh,
It'd be a great opportunity. So if those grants become available again, we'll try again.
they'll probably go to Buckeye Community. I'll shut up now.
So just the bottom line of the forecast, we do show a little bit of a surplus the first 2 years, and then the last 3 years of the forecast, I'm showing deficit. That's mainly to do with keeping those revenue sources flat with our current knowledge of what's going on in those different areas. And then, projecting out some inflation that we're going to see in the district, and property insurance increases and all of that other stuff in those areas. Is there anything you'd like gone over a little more?
Any questions for Megan on that?
No.
We are
Okay.
good. As much as we can be and as much as we can be on a 5-year forecast.
Mhm.
And they did alter the forecast. It doesn't need to be 5 years anymore, but pretty much the industry standard with treasurers is to just keep it with that 5 years. So that is why we keep it. But you will notice on the agenda, it is called, I believe, just the initial forecast, but we do incorporate the 5 years still.
I think I appreciate the 5-year look
Yeah.
and that we are looking out, even though as unpredictable as, you know what I mean, things can
Yeah.
be. I think it's important to
It's always a
look
good
out.
indicator of, are we going to be in a financial emergency in the next couple of years? Because even with those best guesses, if we're going to be, almost to zero, we got to make some changes. So it is good to see that projected out there a little bit.
And to plan everything out conservatively.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't bank on something that isn't going to be there.
Mm-mm.
And if it comes, then okay, great. That's just gravy on
Right.
top of everything. But otherwise, we've planned for not having that. So that puts us in a better fiscal position.
Yep. If we don't have any questions, if we want to move on with approvals, Mr. Price.
Can I get a motion to approve item 12 for the July financial report, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nally. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved. And then the last one, item 13. Can I get a motion to approve item 13 for the initial forecast for fiscal years 26 through 29, please?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lewis. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Lehman. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mrs. Lehman, or I'm sorry, Ms. Lehman,
Yeah.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved. All right, moving on to board member communications. Don.
Just again, the trip to Spain, I think it was a great opportunity, and having our students be able to experience that. And I think one of the things that really shows based on it being a successful trip is that we have some great kids, that go on those trips and participate in our activities. And we have some great parents and educators that go along. And so I think that's really, really special. Just with the VFW, appreciate their donations. I think there's several groups out there that are doing donations and helping out with school supplies. And yeah, I think that's an important part of our community, participating and being involved in our students and their success. That's all I had.
Sarah?
I think almost all of us in the table were able to attend the community pep rally last Wednesday. What a neat event. It was just a buzz downtown. I think all of the kids had a great time. I think the coaches had a great time. And it was just a nice way for the community to kind of rally around the kids, but also with the new format, it was nice to see a lot of the littles, the future little giants, participating and getting to see the high school, athletes. So that was a really neat opportunity. I've heard a lot of positive feedback about the event. So just kudos to everybody who had a hand in, putting that together. I think it was a job well done and enjoyed by the whole community. The Fremont Ross Marching Little Giants got to open the fair this morning again. And what a beautiful day to do so. Mr. Price and I were talking about that on the way in. Like, this is going to be the most comfortable temperature wise fair week I think we've had probably in my lifetime. And it didn't rain today, which never happens on the Monday opening of the fair. So I trust that that went well. I live on the east side of town, but I could hear uh, the wind just must have blown just right that I could hear the marching band marching into the fair. It seems like all of our fall sports, soccer, tennis, volleyball, golf, football, are all off to a really great start this season. So we just wish a continued success to all those teams. And go school year. Let's do it.
All right. Laura?
I'm personally looking forward to being here tomorrow morning for the district opening and seeing all the staff here and just kind of touching base with some of them and seeing what program is going to be up here offered. And I'm just excited about it. I'm also excited about getting back into the schools this year and seeing what's going on for the new school year and just everything going on, the activities. I'm just a big decorator too. I love the different how they decorate the different decors of the rooms and just the spirit of the kids and the different products and stuff that they're using that we've approved. So I'm just excited to get into that again and then report back and tell you how it goes. And the only other thing I have to say is, and this goes for everybody at these tables and everybody listening, do your homework on who is running for governor. It's going to be very important who gets voted in. It's going to have a lot to do with education. I implore everybody, please. And it's not even a Republican, Democratic, whatever. You have to just sit down and literally go through the people and see what they stand for. I mean, their backgrounds, everything. It's very important. Then they can deal with the vouchers and all that stuff down the road and everything else that comes with it. But that's very important. I mean, absentee ballot is going to be coming up very soon. Absentee voting, so you just got to get the word out there, talk to the people, and see what we're dealing with. It's very, very important. That's all I have to say.
Lori?
Well, the trip to Spain looked like it was a very uneventful, but a lot of fun and a lot of packed activities. Lots of activities. I've seen a lot of the pictures that were coming in. They're really neat. Beautiful architecture and all landscape and everything. Congratulations to Mariah on her diploma. A job well earned. She put in the time and got it done. And the fair, I was there today. That was fun. I know not a lot of people go to it and stuff, but you can get there and you want to go. It's fun. And last hurrah before school starts. So be safe and make it back and start it up good.
Like others have said, thanks for the presentation on the trip to Spain for the kids. Again, great trip for those kids. Thanks to everyone who organized the community pep rally. Same with Sarah. I thought it was a great event to be there. For all the coaches and all the athletes, the students that came out to help those little kids see what was going on. I think it was a great way to communicate with them and see what they could be doing in just a few years. So it's a good recruitment tool more than anything. So I know Chad Burnt and Jordan Mackey had a big setup thing. So thanks to all of them. And again, all the coaches that just put in the time to do that. It's off season, but they still felt it was important to be a part of that. So that's great. Thanks, Coach Thiessen, for being here and putting up the kids for a trip down to Myrtle Beach just to further improve on the baseball program. It's just a good way to get some more baseball in a week when it's warm weather down there and it's probably cold and snowy up here. So just a good way for them to improve. So and
We're not used to such a big audience.
No, Derek's going to have to come every time. We'll just have to make him come. Sorry.
We get used to it.
That's right. And then, yeah, for all the teachers, show up tomorrow. All the staff will be here tomorrow, and school's right around the corner. So, and last, beat the streaks on Friday. Big game Friday night. First home game against Sandusky, that rival. Let's pack that stadium and show them what Little Giant Pride is all about. And the new thing of I saw kids wearing it at the pep rally. One giant family. You're going to see that on some of the shirts for athletes and stuff this fall. That's kind of the new saying that we have going on. So let's show them one giant family. Good win last Friday for the football team. So for Coach Winters, congratulations on getting that first win, being back at Fremont and everything. So with that, no reason for executive session. So could I have a motion for adjournment, please? Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lehman. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yeah.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved. Meeting's adjourned.